Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. I'm Kobe. With me is Mike. What's going on?
Yes, sir. We got a busy show today. Got a
We
lot
do.
of games to recap, a lot of news going on, so should be a fun one. Well,
Yeah.
actually, probably not a fun one for me because it's a lot of injuries going on in Washington. So,
Well, yeah, you have injuries, and I have a team that doesn't know how to play football. So it's not real fun for me right now either.
yeah, man, it's tough times right now. I can start off. Well, I mean, going on in Washington, of course, our guy Jaden Daniels dealing with a left knee sprain. Took a tough hit during that Packers game. Um, Basically, I think the whole Washington area's heart stopped when he got tackled that game. But he's trying to battle back to see if he could play against the Raiders this week. But I think it's going to be a tough hill to climb. No pun intended for him, because I know that we have a long season ahead of us, and I don't think we want to just throw a brace on him and
Yeah.
put him out there. So we're 1-1. We play a Raiders team who could barely put up points against the Chargers on Monday night. So hopefully we can just sit him down this week and put Mariota in, and hopefully Mariota can get us a win this week. But we have a lot of injuries
Yeah.
from that Packers game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just, how it goes. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got Eckler out for the season. Dietrich Wise is out. John Bates may miss a week. Noah Brown, Mr. Glass himself may miss a week. We placed a corner on injured reserve, Jonathan Jones. So we did sign Preston Smith today. Hopefully he can. He did have some good games when he was with Washington, and then when he was playing for Green Bay too. So hopefully he could come in and pick up where Wise left off. But we got some patchwork going on right now, so it's tough. But even with that being said, we're doing a lot better than your Browns right now, even with
Oh,
all those
man.
injuries piling up.
Yeah. It's a tough watch, and we talked about it like before the season started when we were going through the breaking down the schedule. Like, this was going to be a rough season,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like the big problem is right now our incompetent offense is just absolutely wasting our defense right now.
Right.
No, we held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half, week one, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know they're talking with a little bit of confidence going into week two, like, oh, Derrick Henry, how hard is he to tackle? Not hard. 11 carries, 24 yards, or uh, 23 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But man, look at these offensive numbers. Okay, so
Absolutely brutal.
Joe Flacco, I mean, 199 yards, one touchdown, one interception. The touchdown was a dropped interception that
Mm-hmm.
somehow bounced up into the air and into our receiver's hand in the end zone. That was 100% an interception
Mm-hmm.
if the defender caught it. He had a
Mm-hmm.
he had a fumble six. Like like he's old going into the
Yeah.
season. Kevin Stefanski, we'll get to him a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, his offense revolves around play action and bootlegs. Well, guess what? Play action bootlegs don't work when your quarterback has cement blocks in his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just a sitting duck back there.
Yeah.
And and when he does have time to throw the ball, it's it's not a good throw at
Mm-hmm.
all. The first interception he threw, he was kind of just running out of bounds, and he threw it. He thought he was throwing it away, but it was, I don't know, 10 yards short of his receiver, right to the defender. The announcers are like, he's a veteran in this league. He should know not to make that throw. And
Right.
I think I don't know. Dylan Gabriel came in fourth quarter against Baltimore.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Oh yeah, he did. He came in and he threw led him to a touchdown, but Baltimore had like second string in, kind of like Roquan Smith wasn't playing, who was an absolute menace all game. Kyle Hamilton, they might have had Kyle Hamilton out, but hey, I don't. Flacco's days are numbered. I talked about this having two rookie quarterbacks. If you're a quarterback on a Cleveland Browns roster, you will get playing time. So the cycle is starting. Everybody's going to start getting their time soon.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's hard to watch right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The defense, for you to hold Henry to 23 yards rushing, and hold Zay Flowers, I mean, 7 receptions for 75 yards is not bad at all. You know, of course, Lamar, you know, he's going to do his thing. He got 225, 4 touchdowns. But I mean, like you said, if the offense could just do something,
just something.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, and also it's like, you know, you'll get you could start the season like they have 0-2 with Flacco. So why not just, you know, throw one of the you know, rookies in, let him get his lumps in live action. And you know, yes, you'll probably struggle, but at the same time, he's learning, you know, and getting that experience. And then, you know, but I think it's just a waste with Flacco there. You know what you have with him. He's not your QB of the future. Yeah, so
I will say one thing, like obviously 41-17 is an absolute ass kicking. But they did the Ravens did return a fumble for a touchdown, so that wasn't against the defense. So you take that away, so now it's 35-17. They blocked a punt, and I believe they started from like the 30-yard line. Baltimore drove down to the 1. Then we got 2 sacks and actually held them to a field goal there. They had a couple long kick returns. They had good field position all game. Like I know 41-17 isn't close, but it probably played a little bit closer to maybe, I don't know, 17-28, something like that. But yeah, we need to make some changes.
Yeah, and playing defense against the Ravens is tough. So I mean, you're really asking your defense to, you know, keep going back out there. You know, if the Browns are just going 3 and out, you know, almost every time or turn the ball over, and you're putting a lot on your defense to have to cover Jackson for that long and tackle Henry. So if the offense was able to do, you know, a little bit more, put up some points, give the defense a rest, you know, maybe they'll be in some more, you know, in some more of these games. But yeah, I think they need to make some changes. I just don't know if they will or not. You said you was going to get into Stefanski, and if I don't know, maybe they need to make some coaching changes, maybe GM. I don't know, but
because look at next week's game right there. I mean, you saw firsthand how that went last week, and you have a more competent offense than we do. So
we got about 6 players that's going to miss this week. Just from that game alone, we got 6 players is out. So
hey, you know, Jaden got a little bit banged up that game. He's a young, athletic quarterback. Joe Flacco might not make it. He might not make it out of there. At least not without being on a stretcher. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, Jaden has mobility, and you see what happened to him. So if Flacco is just standing back there, I mean, good luck.
So. Anybody betting on that game? Micah Parsons over 5.5 sacks.
5.5 is crazy. All right, let's get into our next game. We had the Giants and the Cowboys. This was a back and forth game, especially late in the game. Giants ended up scoring a big touchdown. Neighbors had a nice touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter, but they left a little bit of time left on the clock, allowed the Cowboys to go down and hit a overtime scoring field goal, and then nobody could score in overtime, and then the Cowboys finally hit a field goal to win this one. 2 okay teams. They're not really, both teams didn't really play any defense in this game. You
Mhm.
see Wilson had 450 yards,
Yeah.
looking like prime Russ out there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So we talked about this before after the Ravens and Bills game week 1, like
Mhm.
just absolute video game numbers across the board. And
Yeah.
like people like a good defensive game. Not me. I want it back and forth. And yeah,
Mhm.
Neighbors gets that touchdown at the end, and they're like, "Wow, the Giants pulled that out." And then
Mhm.
that goes into like prime Tom Brady, like, "Oh, they left 30 seconds on the clock," and you're thinking like, "Oh, Dak is just not that guy," but got him down there. And Brandon Aubrey, man, that leg is
Got some
explosive.
heat on it. Yeah.
So got him to overtime, got him to win in overtime.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, he
exactly what you want in your kicker.
yeah, I kind of see the Giants a little bit like a little similar way of going through things like the Browns. They have a veteran QB. You're not going to really get much from him. He's not the Russ, even though he put up these numbers against a bad Cowboys defense. But you have him back there. He's putting up these yards. You in these tough, close games. But at the end of the day, you're still 0-2. You have a first round QB on the sideline, Jackson Dart, who showed a lot in preseason. I
Mm-hmm.
know it was preseason, but he did show that he can, put some points on the board. It's kind of like another waste of development for Dart. You just have him holding a clipboard, when he could really be out there, gaining some real experience. So I'm not sure what the Giants are doing. I know their coach is also on the hot seat. If he doesn't turn things around, but just kind of weird how they're going about it. And you see who they play next. I mean, they play, even though it's in New York, they play the Chiefs. And even
Yeah,
though the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs anymore, that's going to be a tough game for them to win. So I'm not really sure what they're doing up there in New York.
yeah.
And Neighbors is Neighbors. I think he's going to be the next great receiver. He's already really good. So he got mad last week when he went up against the Commanders and he didn't do what he normally does. So he saw him on the sideline, towel over his head,
Mm-hmm.
upset. But now you see 9 receptions, 167 yards, 2 TDs. I mean, you see why he wants the ball. So
Yeah, those LSU receivers are built different, right
right.
out of the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase mold, man. They just get to the
Elite.
NFL and produce.
Mm-hmm. That's wide receiver U. Well,
Yeah,
who is it? Is it LSU? I think it's LSU, but they have that thing with Ohio State. Is it
yeah, and I mean, listen, I've seen a lot of Ohio State receivers, and
mhm.
no, it's
I
LSU.
think it's I agree. All right. Next, going into the next big game, we had the Eagles versus Chiefs. This was a close one. Eagles pulled this one out 20-17. Both teams really couldn't get their offense going in this
Mm-mm.
one. Hmm.
No, it's the anticipated Super Bowl rematch. The
Right.
Eagles absolutely dog walked them last year in the Super Bowl, and I was
Hmm.
expecting the same thing this game. But yeah, and I think one of the most talked about things this game that I saw, well, two things, but you talked about the offensive not getting anything going. Chris Jones at the end of the game pretty much just telling Jalen Hurts like, "Hey, you need to have over 100 yards." He said, "Well,
Hmm.
we won the effing
That
game."
was the dumbest comment you could
Like
say. Like, what do
like
you mean?
yeah, he wasn't impressive, but they just beat you, and that's
Yes.
twice in a row they've beat you. One of them being
Right.
in the Super Bowl. That was
Yeah. If
not
this
the
was a
right
Super
place.
Bowl, that's like him saying, "Oh, you only had 100 yards, but you just beat us in another Super
Yeah,
Bowl." It's
yeah,
like, what do
yeah.
you mean?
Like if it would have been
Yeah.
like, final drive, the Chiefs were up like 40-20, and he's in there just jawing at him. Yeah,
Hmm.
talk it up, but
Yeah.
bro, like
You can't talk after a loss
you are literally about to lose this football game
at home.
at home. And
Yeah. That's
honestly, he's probably pissed off because of the other thing, the tush push.
Yes, yes. We're definitely going to get into that one a little later, but definitely something that I don't know if we should keep around, but we're going to get into that one
Yeah.
too. But I mean, he's also, I mean, it is kind of frustrating when you do hold a good Eagles team to 100 yards passing,
Yeah.
and kind of held Saquon in check too. If you only give up 88 yards to Saquon, you really are, keeping yourself in a game.
Yeah.
None of the receivers really did anything. Smith having 53 yards on 4 receptions. But I think the biggest thing is that Mahomes hasn't been Mahomes really in. Well, last season he really, he took a step back in my opinion, but
Yeah.
this year it's like the same thing. He's, one interception, one touchdown. He's running the ball more, which is
Yeah.
crazy. That probably shows some offensive line issues. He's running the ball a lot more. 66 yards rushing. I would have never thought from Mahomes,
Mm-mm.
and you can see they're not getting anything from the running game. Hunt only having 31 yards is terrible.
And
So
that's the backup to
yeah.
Pacheco, who also I
Mhm.
think might have had like 23 or 24 yards. So I mean,
Yeah, and Kelsey is, he's against the clock. I mean, he's, old
yeah.
man, so yeah. Uh not a good time right now for the Chiefs.
No, like
Not
the Chiefs keep sabotaging their offense. Last year, Mahomes made contact with Rasheed Rice, who was out for the rest of the season.
Mhm.
Now he's suspended. Kelsey took out Xavier Worthy last week. I mean, so two of your two of your better options are just not there. And
Yeah.
I do think, with Andy Reid and just kind of how he operates once these guys start coming back, I do think they'll start being competitive again. But by
Mhm.
that time, it might be too late for them. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, and I know they had to address O line in the draft. I know they drafted a tackle in the first round, but it's no talent right now around Mahomes. Kelsey is not what he used to be. Hunt is not a great running back. The receivers they have isn't anything to write home about. I mean, Mahomes really doesn't have any
Mm-mm.
great talent around him right now.
Yeah,
So I'm
but
not sure if they're drafting well or what, but
yeah, I mean, before like Mahomes started winning these Super Bowls, like, oh, he's chasing Brady. Well, Tom
mhm,
Brady never had any receivers until Gronk came around, and then that
good
year or
point.
two with Randy Moss that they showed out. Like Tom
Yeah.
Brady made the players around him great, and that might have been Belichick too. But Andy Reid's an all time great coach too.
Yeah, and because we talk about like those receivers like Welker and you know, but he made them. They wasn't
Hmm.
great players coming out. A lot of them was like kick return, punt returners. He's
Yeah.
turned into great receivers. So that's right. Brady didn't have a lot of talent around him. He kind of always had a good tight end,
Hmm.
but besides that, he kind of made those receivers, who they were. But yeah. So next we have the Falcons versus the Vikings, 22-6. This was the Sunday night matchup. Um, this was a this kind of was a boring one too.
Hmm.
Nothing really. Vikings didn't show anything in this game.
Uh-uh.
Falcons just did enough to win. But both young quarterbacks, they McCarthy, I don't know, he took a step back from that Bears game. He really showed a lot. Now 2 interceptions. Yeah, this was a nasty one for Sunday night football.
Yeah, not a good game for quarterbacks. Uh, but Bijan Robinson is well on his way to being the number one running back in the league. I think
Mhm,
he could be a top five player in the league right now,
mhm.
offensively. I would say, well, I was gonna say Jamar Chase, but with Jake Browning back there, I don't know if he's gonna produce like he is. Justin Jefferson's taking steps back.
Mhm.
Barkley is not. You know what? I'm putting Bijan Robinson up there right now as the number one offensive player in the league.
Ooh, okay. Um, he's he's definitely. I don't think he deserves the. I mean, he doesn't get the recognition and appreciation that he actually deserves. He is one of the best offensive players, bestly top three
Yeah.
running back in the league. 22 rushes, 143 yards. He was their offense.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Jefferson, I feel sorry for Jefferson. I mean, he's definitely going to have a down season this year with McCarthy being at quarterback. Hopefully, he can keep his attitude and stuff in check and not go off and stuff on the sidelines. But it's going to be rough. Hopefully, he's ready for that.
Yeah. Well, next week against the Bengals, he has a Carson Wentz throwing in the ball. Carson Wentz is a little bit of a old school gunslinger type guy.
Yeah, I'm sure
Not the
he'll throw.
most.
He'll have a lot of targets for
Yeah.
sure.
So I mean, he might be all right for a week or two, but yeah, that week one game against the Bears, JJ McCarthy's bringing the team back. They're all going crazy in the locker room, and then just to
Back to
come out
reality.
here and just lay a dud like that is a momentum killer.
Yeah, it is. Tough. Let's see who we have next. Next, we have Bucks versus Texans. Bucks 20, Texans 19. This was a close game. What stood out to me the most was the protection for CJ Stroud. He was running for his life this entire game. Didn't really have a lot of time to sit back and throw the ball. When he did make some completions, but for the most part, he was running around a lot, just throwing the ball out of bounds. They wasn't good on third downs. And the Bucks kind of kept them in the game, I thought. I mean, the Bucks, they were, doing okay, but they definitely left a lot on the field. And if the Texans, I think, would have protected better, they probably could have snuck away with this one. But Bucks win again.
Yeah, this was a kind of a tough game for me to watch. Baker Mayfield versus Nick Chubb, but man, Baker might be that dude.
Yeah.
And I hate it. Like, look at our quarterback situation right now. Look what we did to get Deshaun. If we just would have gave Baker one more year,
yeah,
we're looking. But Baker is competitive. He's there was a play, I think it was like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, something like that. The play broke down. He scrambled. Will Anderson brought him down.
That was hilarious.
Pointing up, celebrating. Baker's like, "That's a first down, brother."
He was like, "What are you doing? Like, look up. Like, it's a first down." Like,
and then he was hurt. Looked like he was hurt on a play, but then he's like, "Oh, I got to do some trash talk," and he hopped up and got in some. Man,
that was hilarious.
I will always be a Baker fan. I'm always rooting for Baker. But yeah, that was a good game. And was that? Oh no, it was the Falcons. They were using their new kicker. I thought it was the.
Oh yeah,
and then
it was hilarious when he was down, looked like he was hurt, and somebody was talking trash over him. And he hopped back up like
they said shit talking is the quickest remedy.
He just hopped right back up. And got in that guy's face. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Baker, he's a leader, and he. Even though they haven't, he hasn't won, the overall big one. He's just a winner. Like he gives, when he's in a game, he has all his other players feeling like they're going to come out with the win at the end of the game. So, yeah, he's definitely top 10 in the league for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a graphic earlier was comparing his numbers to like Lamar, Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Hurts. I think it was over the last 4 or 5 years. Like he has more passing yards than all of them. He has more passing touchdowns than all of them, and some of them aren't even close. Like he's just quietly just moving up like those QB rankings, like you said. Like you said, top 10, and like currently he's probably not too far out of the top 5.
I agree. Yep. All right. And lastly, we have the Chargers at Raiders. Chargers 20, Raiders 9. Raiders did Raiders things, didn't really show much in the pass and auto running game. And Chargers just keep on trucking along with another win.
Yeah, but before the season started, we were talking about the Chargers and how they're going to be this run first team to take pressure off of Herbert. You know, they drafted the rookie in the first round, but they just have not been running the ball
Nope.
at all. Uh,
hmm
Quentin Johnston, he's starting to emerge. Keenan Allen's back to his roots there. He's looking good, and I don't
hmm
know, just the way Justin Herbert runs that offense, it's fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And then you
Um,
got Geno Smith taking over in Las Vegas and just underwhelming there.
mhm.
Ashton Genty's not getting the ball. It seems to be a mess over there right now.
Yeah, and at some point, I know the Chargers are winning right now, but at some point, they're going to have to get that running game going. The later in the season, especially if they get into the playoffs or when they do, they are definitely going to need that running game going. And as for the Raiders, hopefully they can play one more week like they did this game and only put up 9 points and not scoring a touchdown because they do play my Commanders
Mm-hmm.
and we need a dub right now coming off to that Green Bay game. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can just play the same way. They played wonderful to me. So hopefully they play like that again this week because we need a bounce back game. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully. Um so next we can get into our top 5 and 5. That's where we talk about 5 different topics in our 5 minute window. I know last time we kind of went past beyond that 5 minutes, but
Yeah,
hopefully
that
we
was
could
the
do better
trial.
this week.
We're
Yeah,
we're locking in.
yeah, hopefully we could do better this week. So let's get started. So first, are the Colts for real? 2 big games, 2 big wins so far this season. Um, Daniel Jones not even looking like himself. He's looking great
Yeah.
after this team change. But do you think they're a real or in a playoff could be a potential playoff team this year, or what do you think?
Yeah, their division's a little lackluster, and the way they're rolling right now, I'd say I'm saying the Colts are real until they give me a reason to say otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, I agree too. And in that division, they definitely have a chance to do a little something. So, and next we have your boy Shadur, man. He said he didn't want to play for the Ravens, didn't want to get drafted by them.
Hmm.
That's crazy when going into the 5th round and you trying to say who you don't want to play with.
Yeah, but you also got to think Lamar's their guy for another, I don't know, 5 6 years,
hmm
and he knows he's not playing there. Like I said, if you're a quarterback on the Browns roster, you're gonna get to play, and he's actually probably only a couple weeks away right now. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, it's kind of tough in that situation because if you say you don't want to play for the Ravens and then other teams hear that, then they may not want to draft you either just because how that comes across. So um and now he's with the Browns where he probably will get some playing time, than if he would have got drafted by Baltimore. So
Hmm.
might have turned out like a good decision for him. All right. We talked about it earlier a little bit. Should the tush push be banned or should they keep it? I know they voted on it during the summer, but
Hmm.
what do you think?
I was all for it. I was like, man, this just sounds like whiny defensive coaches. Like, hey, if you can't stop it, it's a problem. But now
hmm
seeing how it like they really dove into it this last game, seeing how the center lines up on the ball, like whole offensive line is false starting to get leverage, and
Yeah.
if it's being run like that, I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it has to be fair on both sides. So, like you said, if the guard is already starting, past the line, you got the center that's already over the ball. They're already have an advantage. So definitely, I think it's a play they need to. I know they said they're going to review it again during the off season, but I think they should do away with this one. I don't think it's fair for both sides. Defense won't be able to stop that play.
Nope.
Um, Next, we have this is touchy for me because we played the Raiders this week, but Tom Brady, he being part owner and also doing the game commentary. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's fair that he's an owner and also in the coach's booth, calling games and in the coach's booth?
Yeah, like on the field, he's arguably the greatest player of all time, but I
Mhm.
don't think that grants you access to, you know, being a part owner, being in the booth, doing all these things. I don't know. It just seems too much to me. And then like the fact that like he's like just like talking to players about signing and stuff. I don't know. Like just you got to pick one.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And it's kind of touchy, especially for the Commanders, because he called our Giants game. He did that game, called that game, and then you see him now. Now we play the Raiders this week. Who knows what he told the Raiders during
Yeah.
their so. I don't know if that's fair or not. I know the NFL looked into it. They said he didn't do anything wrong, but I just don't think those two things should cross paths. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and now Joe Burrow seems like every other year he has a serious injury. Do we consider him injury prone now?
I do. I think a couple years ago, Chase Young rolled up on his leg, and that's just an unfortunate mishap. That's football. Bodies on the
Mhm.
ground, but now this turf toe thing, like surgery out 3 months. Yeah, I think it'd be safe to put him on the injury prone list. And I'm going to say this first right here: Jameis Winston to the Bengals.
Wow. Okay. 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 But I agree with you. I definitely will consider him being injury prone also. Yeah. All right.
We just sneak that in there.
I think we did. I think we did.
All right. Hey, that's not bad.
That was perfect. Um, all right. So, I mean, now we can go right into our extreme rankings of the week. See if we had some changeover from last week. Let's see how we think the top
Top
five
five
teams shape
teams
up.
right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, coming in at number 5, we have. Let's get this drum roll coming in. We have the LA Chargers. You think that's where a good spot where we got them?
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it a little bit. Justin Herbert, he's on the up and up. Harbaugh has good control over this team right now. Uh, Defense is playing well. Derwin James is probably like the best safety in football.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I think number 5 is a good spot for them, and I could see them creeping up. Depending if obviously we have to see how the games go, but I could see them
Mm-hmm.
sneaking up this list.
Yeah, I agree. Probably by the end of the season, they could be a top 3 team in the league, but definitely an up and coming team that's on the rise for sure. And next, coming in at number 4, none other than the Baltimore Ravens. Did they take I think they took a little drop from last week.
Yeah,
I think we had them at number 3, if I remember.
yeah, we had them up there despite the loss to Buffalo, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean that was a game they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little bit of collapse, but like, and yeah, they beat up on the Browns at whoop de woo. But Yeah,
As
I think they're just always going to be right around a top 5 team in the league year in and year out.
I agree. If it wasn't for how dominant this next team is looking, they probably would still be top 3. But um, going into this next team, I mean, they've been looking pretty scary so far. And that team is the Green Bay Packers. They're
Hmm.
just on a tear right now.
Yeah, they've been dominant, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Hmm.
Uh, they play the Browns coming up
Hmm.
on Sunday, and if they don't, I I I know we stopped Derrick Henry. I know we held the Bengals, but that defense is just going to take over that game for them, and they're not going to need to score more than 21 points, but I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I agree too. They should get through that game with some ease. Don't see them dropping after this week, but they're pretty scary. I mean,
Hmm.
we was in a body bag game with them. They got took a lot of our players out. They're definitely a scary team to play right now. So,
Hmm.
then going into number 2, we have Buffalo Bills.
Hmm.
It's tough to kind of move them out of this spot right now.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe have them at 1,
Hmm.
but I'll get into it a little bit more once we reveal who that is.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're always going to be a top 3 team in this league as well. Like Josh
Yeah.
Allen doesn't even have the weapons around him right now, besides maybe James Cook. Uh,
Hmm.
Keon Coleman's starting to show a little bit, but as long as you have Josh Allen on that football team, you're just going to be
Hmm.
a top team in this league.
Hmm. And it's and I think that's because they kind of adjust well. Unlike the Bengals, who they prioritize weapons. To one of the greatest wide receiver duos. You have a good pass rusher, all this stuff, but you don't protect your QB. With the Bills, you don't see a lot of skilled players. They probably average or good at best, but you make sure that Josh is protected, and you see what he's able to do. They can change up the offense and have it more running than pass, or pass and run, but they
Yeah.
kind of put the QB at the main focus. So I don't see that changing for like you said. I think the Bills will be a top 3 team for a long time.
Hmm.
And then going into our number 1, and no surprise to probably anyone, we have Philadelphia Eagles. I just think until you beat the best, they stay the best. So we still have them at number 1.
Yeah, and we were talking about how like the Chiefs just don't seem to be the Chiefs as of over the last couple years, and
Mm.
the Eagles barely beat them.
Yeah.
The offense was lackluster,
Hmm.
uh, but that's another team that defense can just take over a game.
Yeah. I agree. But early on in the season, you just want to find a way to win.
Yeah.
If you can just put some of these wins in your back pocket, Eagles are 2-0. I'm sure none of the teams in the league is where they want to be by the end of the season. So, you just steal some of these wins early on, and then you find yourself at 5-1 or 6-0, and then you can just kind of
Yeah,
gear up and get ready for the making a playoff push. But um, Eagles just always find a way to win.
they do.
So even though it's ugly sometimes, it counts for something. So, yeah, they're still at number 1 for
Yep,
us.
2 weeks in a row, the reigning
Hmm.
defending number 1 team
Reigning
in the
defender.
extreme rankings.
Yep. So that was our power extreme rankings. And yeah, that was what other news we have. Oh, so I know tonight it came out that the bill was finally officially passed for the Commanders to get a new stadium. So in DC. So hopefully by 2031 season, we can have a new stadium, probably the FanDuel Sports Dome or Draft Kingdom or something like that. But that's good news.
And as long as sports betting stays illegal, that's a perfect.
Right.
But speaking of stadium news, like the Browns got approved for theirs. They're moving the stadium out of Cleveland to Brook Park, but they're running into some problems. Brook Park is by the airport, and apparently the zoning measurements, the stadium is too tall and will interfere with air traffic. So I don't know. You could just make it a little smaller. I don't know.
What's the vibe in that area as far as the team moving?
Not good.
Out of
not good.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it is because that fan base is.
We've had winless seasons. We've had 345 quarterbacks the last 15 years. We sell out like every home game. Everybody gets so amped up for football season, and then like they just suck. And now the team that everybody loves and supports, you're taking them out of town. Like it doesn't make any sense. And it's supposed to be like Brownstown. It's gonna have like all these restaurants and stores and stuff around it, which is all just opportunities for them to make more money. And it's not going over well with everybody here.
Yeah, it's tough. I would be distraught if we kind of had to deal with it for the last 30 years. We moved from DC to Landover, Maryland for the last almost 30 years, but finally going back. I don't know if it's similar to that situation in Cleveland, but we were pissed off for the last 3 decades. So but yeah, another big thing is just all these injuries in the NFL. You got Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
He's out for a while. I think Fields as well is dealing with a injury.
He came out of the game last week.
Yeah, it's crazy how a lot of these QBs are kind of probably going to be out this week. But all right, another good episode, man.
Yeah, another one in the books. We will probably get back at it here in a couple days with our week 2 picks recap and our week 3 picks.
Yeah, I'm feeling like we probably have similar results from last week with these picks, but hopefully they they shape out.
Maybe we just know ball. I don't.
It's true. Our record could have been. We're gonna get into it on Friday, but maybe we did better than we did last week. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will do it for us today on this episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can get notification the next time we go live or drop another episode. And also follow our TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, all that good stuff. Drop a comment also.
All right. See you guys later.
Peace. See you.